What's up, guys? And welcome back to another episode of Real Stories. And today, we are re-going all the way down to Texas because we re-gonna tell you the real story about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The year was 1973 when Tobe Hooper released a low-budget horror film that would go on to become a classic in the genre. But as is often the case with stories that have stood the test of time, there are many who believe that the film was based on a true story. So what we re-gon not do today is set the record straight and see if there really was a massacre in some rundown farmhouse outside of town. The movie centers around a group of friends who, while driving through rural Texas, accidentally kill a hitchhiker and then seek help at the nearest farmhouse. Unfortunately for them, though, the farmhouse is occupied by a family of cannibalistic killers, and they quickly find themselves hunted down one by one. As you might imagine, this basic premise has led many to wonder if there really was a family of cannibals living in the backwoods of Texas, specifically one family known as the Sawyer clan. Now, although there isn't any evidence to support the claim that such a family actually existed, there is a small possibility that they could have been the inspiration for the film. That's because during the 1960s and 70s, rumors began to spread of a family in Houston, Texas, who made money by burying people alive and then digging them up at a later date to feed on their body. Apparently, law enforcement officials did investigate these rumors, but they were never able to turn up any evidence of foul play. Still, there were enough stories out there to convince aspiring filmmaker Tobe Hooper that there was something to the tale, and he decided to use it as inspiration for his latest project. Tobe Hooper grew up hearing stories about strange things happening around the small town of New Braunfels, Texas, where he spent much of his childhood. These stories included tales of a mysterious abandoned house filled with strange symbols and strange sounds that could be heard coming from inside. It was also rumored that anyone who entered the home would never come out the same again. Of course, as you probably already guessed, this house didn't actually exist, or at least there's no record of it ever having existed. But these sorts of stories stuck with Tobe Hooper throughout his childhood, and he carried that fascination with the macabre into his films. Although he never explicitly stated that the Sawyer family was based on a true story, he did say that they were inspired by a family of serial killers who operated in Houston during the 1920s. This is likely a reference to the West family, who were known to prey on young black children. Although they were never caught, many believe that the bodies of their victims are still buried on the West family property. Still, there's no evidence to suggest that they practiced cannibalism, or that any of their members went by the name Sawyer. As for the house featured in the film, it's safe to say that it was just that, a figment of Tobe Hooper's imagination. However, the director did say that the film was heavily influenced by Ed Gein, an American serial killer, burglar, and grave robber. If you want to learn more about Ed Gein, we've got a full video about him already uploaded. But to sum it up, when authorities searched the property where he lived with his mother, they found human organs stuffed inside animal carcasses, along with furniture made from human skin. Now, while it is safe to assume that Tobe Hooper used Ed Gein as partial inspiration for the character of Leather, there's no evidence to suggest that he was directly involved in any cannibalistic rituals. So there you have it, the real story behind the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. While there are certainly elements of the film that were inspired by real life, it's ultimately a work of fiction. Nonetheless, it's a terrifying tale that has captured the imaginations of audiences for generations. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. I'll see you next time.